We are Stephen and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
howdy.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sizzling Scottsdale, Arizona.
Today, Jill and I talk about the power of answering the phone.
Yeah. Nothing like a live person answering the phone. You need to do that. Well, and I'll explain more in a minute.
Yeah. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. If you're already a Land Academy member, join us on Discord.
Sean wrote, have any of you ever had a title company refuse to close a deal because the sale price is too far greater than the county assessed value? This just happened to me with two different title companies. I bought a lot with a current market value of $10,000. I'm selling it for $5,800. There we go. But the county assessor data has it valued at $3,825. The title companies are saying they cannot issue title insurance on the property because the sale price is more than 50% above the tax value. Since when does the title company determine the value of the property?
Never.
You are correct, Sean.
You're correct to question this. They can't.
You are correct.
And shouldn't. There's something else going on.
There's somebody with is it a big ego thing?
So if you're brand new at this and you're thinking about getting into this business, or these things almost never happen. So this is a strange anomaly that, Jill and I have done almost 16,000 deals combined in our career. I think something like this has happened to me maybe less than 5 times. But I'll tell you, yeah, I had a title person one time, after she did about 8 deals for me, called her husband and said, these deals are all coming in. We should just buy these ourselves. They're so cheap. And so she took a bunch of business away. I've had recorders.
That's like not legal.
I've had recorders, county recorders a couple of times, refuse to sell me or refuse to record a property that I bought because I was from out of state and they didn't want to sell property to people that were out of state, especially for a real inexpensive amount.
Hopefully that's all fixed by now.
Yeah, I mean, you can fix it. This, honestly, I would call a lawyer.
I have an example, though. This is how I would explain it. We've all heard of the situation where a home was being sold for a price higher than it was appraised at. We've all heard of that. You get an accepted offer, the appraiser goes out, and and this is the funny, normally this happens. Normally you're buying a house, you're buying it for, $479,000. The appraiser goes out. We always want to be that price or higher. We obviously want it to be higher, right? Because thinking I got a good deal. But it's funny how, gee, look at that. The appraisal came back at $479,000. What the heck? Well, now and then, and I haven't heard it so much now, but I think anybody over 30 has heard of this. Now and then you've had an appraiser goes out and they're like, shoot, they only appraised it at $459. So you have to pay cash for that last bit if you really want the house. So this to me is no different. Absolutely no different. The title company's not going to go, nope, not doing it, not taking it, because it didn't appraise to what you're actually spending, so we're not going to close the deal. They never do that. That's not true. We just know that, and especially if there's often there's a lender involved. That's why you had to get it appraised too, by the way. So the lender says, oh, we're only going to loan you up to the $459 because that's what's appraised at. It's a hot market. We realize you're buying at $479. You get to pay that extra $20,000 in cash, and that has happened.
The assessed value has nothing to do with market value. So
True.
Whoever's making these decisions, they're making up a reason for whatever reason that they don't want to do this deal. What True. I've had, and I think now that I'm thinking about this is what I think's going on here. And this happened to me a lot of years ago. I did a bunch of deals with one title company in northern Arizona. And then after the 50th transaction, all acquisitions, they said there was an audit. And this is normal. It's not a bad thing. It's not like an IRS audit. They just internally audit some customers just to make sure that there's no errors and stuff, that they're providing the right service. And they came back and said, because they were all in this price range, valued at 10, buy it for 5, sell it for 10, or whatever. There are smaller numbers like that. Well, they had a company policy that they were unable to issue title policies for any amount less than $30,000, which I understand. They're an insurance company, so they need to make money and serve their customers. So we all agreed, you know what, it's going to cost me $30 or $40 more per deal to get overinsured. So if it was a $10,000 value, I'm still buying $30,000 worth of insurance. Everybody shook hands, and that was it. Mm-hmm. So I would dig into this and really find out what's going on.
Because they're technically not insuring the price that you spend. The title insurance is not covering, whoops, I overspent on it. I'm losing money now. I get to go cash it on title insurance. That's not what it's about at all. It's covering it for reasons that they might make a mistake kind of thing, as like chain of title.
What concerns me the most about this whole question is that 2 different title companies said the same thing. So they clearly talk to each other.
Yeah, that's what I
I just
think.
don't think they want to, I used to call it the evil, we're the evil yuppies from Scottsdale. And they don't want us buying their backwoods property.
Right.
I've had that my whole career. Some version of that's been happening.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody else
right.
is experiencing it too.
You know what I would do, Sean? You know what my next phone call would be? And I have 2 title companies that are being weirdos about this. You are not wrong at all, Sean, and you are doing nothing wrong. Congratulations.
Totally agree.
You're doing
John.
everything right.
I agree.
If they're questioning how great this deal is, you're doing everything right, Sean. So the only thing I would do is now just start calling attorneys and go, I just need an attorney close. Can you help me close this deal? I know it's nuts. Yep, I did awesome. Here are the numbers. Let's get this done.
I would Google real estate attorney for that zip code, and I would actually pick up the phone and tell them this story.
Yep.
First of all, and see what they say.
They're gonna have a laugh with you too.
Yeah.
He's gonna probably go,
Yep.
"Oh, he's probably gonna say,
Oh, you mean Sally over there? Yeah,
oh,
she's been
we've
doing
dealt
this
with
to
this
everybody.
before."
Yeah.
Totally. They don't get it. I'm happy to help you close a deal. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Today's topic: the power of answering the phone. This is the meat of the show, and it's also Jill's show.
You know what? This really still does make me mad. I'm just thinking about that. It's like I'm going to the AAA to get my car registered, and they want to say, and they say, how much did you pay for it? I'm going to go $52,000. They're going to go, you pay too much. I'm not going to give you tags for that. That's exactly what's going on right now. Like, nope, not going to give you tags, not going to give you license plate because you're an idiot and you overpaid. No, they don't care. They shouldn't care.
Jill and I choose the questions to post on this on these episodes. We have lots and lots and lots of questions, and so we choose the most entertaining. But I don't. In the back of my mind, every time I choose a question, I think to myself, I truly don't want to read a question that discourages anyone from getting into land investing.
So was this my bad?
Well, I don't want you to sit here I don't want you to think to yourself,
no.
Man, there's a lot involved in this real estate investing land thing. I don't, if this can happen to Sean, what's going to happen to me? I don't want to undo deals like this and figure it all out. This is so unusual, these types of things.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're funny as hell, so we put them on the show.
Totally. Thank you. It's a good laugh for all of us. Okay. So the power of answering the phone. Here's the deal. If you really want to get a deal, whether it's on the buy side or the sell side, so you're buying from a seller or you're selling to a buyer, you need to answer the phone. If you think you're going to sit back and rely on answer machines and text messages and emails, you're missing out. You're not going to do as many deals as I am.
How did this become a topic? How did this be, this is a customer service week? Like what?
Oh,
this question is obviously getting asked a lot for customer service.
Because it came up in recent communication. And I don't remember if it was like one of the accountability groups or if it was it must have been an accountability group or maybe a Thursday call or something. We were just uncovering a trend. I was seeing a little bit of a trend, and I want to remind everybody, stop with the Google Earth, or stop with the Google Voice text messaging. And either find a way to answer your phone, pay your sister-in-law to answer the phone during the day, because she's home anyway taking care of her kids, or get Pat Live or some other service. Because a lot of people think, I'm just going to let the calls come in. I'll just see what messages I get. Then I'll call them back. I would argue for every voicemail you get, there's 3 hangups that you didn't get. And those could be the right person to either sell you a property or for you to sell it to. I'm looking at my notes here. Go ahead.
We live in a technology age, and every minute there's new tools that are being developed to make our lives easier. And land investing is no different.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. And because of that, young people who are much better at technology than most older people believe that they have some type of technological workaround or solution over what older people do. That's just how the world is now. And in a lot of cases, they're right. This is not one of those cases. Jill and I grew up with a cord, and, I remember when we got an answering machine.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
And
that was a big deal.
I remember thinking, this is going to change our lives. Like, we don't have to be home any longer to wait for a phone call between 3 and 4 from the gas company or whatever. And it did. It changed our lives. So fast forward to now, it's amazing. This business we're in, got to answer the phone.
Yeah.
I remember somebody explaining this business model to somebody a really long time ago, a very young person. I said, we send these letters out in the post office to landowners, and they just laughed in my face, and said, get with it.
Here's what I want you to do.
Send email offers.
You're new, you're getting into this. This is how I want this to go. If you are not working a traditional 9-to-5 job, you're remote or however you're doing it, and you can have your phone there, I want you answering the phone first of all. I want you to get to know these sellers. I want you to get to know the area. I want you're going to learn what questions to ask. You're going to learn so much information about these properties in the beginning. I really want you to do that. If you can't do that, you have a 9-to-5 job, I want you to do the things that I talked about. Hire somebody in your family, hire your mom if you have to, and get these and have it. Give them arm them with the right information. Give them that inbound seller checklist. So they know what questions to ask, and you have that too. And then in the evenings and the weekends when you're not at work, I want the phone flipped back to you. I want you to do it. Now over time, you're going to go, this is not what I should be doing. I know how it goes. I understand these sellers. I got a whole idea about this. I've got an idea how I want my script to go. I like the questions I want. I'm going to tweak this, do that. Then I want you to outsource it, and then have it go to like a Pat Live or just some other place like that where you're going to have a body answering the phone. And how that works is they're going to take your questions, the 4 questions or 3 questions, the 2 questions or the 10 questions, however much money you want to spend, because the longer the calls are, the more it costs, to capture that information. And then what happens at the end of the day, you're going to get an email with all the information they collected. This person said, go jump in a lake. This person said, yes, please call me back on Tuesday, and such and such and such. You have all these opportunities and ways to do it. You look at your head.
We have a person in Career Path right now, long before they were in Career Path, scheduled a couple of consulting calls with me. And this is more than a year ago. And the first one, they said, look, we sent 4,000 mailers out and it failed. And I remember Jill and I did the consulting call with these guys, and she said, well, why did it fail? And so they put a spreadsheet up and said, well, these 3 properties, we got signed offers back, but that's it. And so I said, well, then why did it fail? And then they finally said, look, we didn't answer the phone. It just went to voicemail. And I said, well, how many messages did you get? About 14. Did you call them back? No. How many on a caller ID? How many actual phone calls did you get in that specific phone number? Oh, too many to count. So this is what I said. You guys need to go back, on that caller ID, call every single one of those people back and say, look, I think you called me, hope I don't think I'm wrong here, but I think you called me and I offered a piece of property. I offered some.
Buy property from you.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, oh, yeah.
They scheduled a call
Where
with me
is
2 weeks
that?
later and said, yeah, we're buying 30 properties now.
Yep. There's another thing I want to just point out, one little tip as we end this. It's so powerful when you can answer the phone and the sellers or the buyers, whatever it is, know that you're the owner and that you're making the decisions. They love that. They love that you're not an agent, you're not the assistant. So again, when you're new, I want you to get going on this, and it's the greatest thing when you can say, yeah, it's just me and my husband, and it's our sweet little company, and I totally want to buy your property, and whatever price you and I agree on, that's the price we're going to spend. Period. They're like, this is a great. You are supplying transparency, and they're going to be comfortable, and they trust you.
They want to make a connection.
Yeah. When I answer the phone, this is the funniest thing. Okay, I know it says my last comment. This is my last comment. Nothing beats when a seller gets my offer and they see my name at the bottom and they pick up the phone and call. They're calling for Jill DeWitt. They know they're not going to get Jill DeWitt. They know, whoever this person is, I'm not going to get that person. I'm going to get their assistant. I might get a voicemail, might get an answering machine, I might get an answering service. When they pick up the phone and they hear, this is Jill, they're like, what the heck? As in the Jill in the letter? Yep, let's talk. That's the coolest
I
thing.
say this from my heart. I have a huge problem with answering the phone, and I mean it. And I took a personality test to prove it. I'm a tech person. I'm a technical, not an IT person. I'm just a technical person, and the personality test proved it. So what do? You get over it in the beginning of your career, and you just deal with it in the beginning, very beginning. And then once you got a few properties under your belt, and you realize you can make some money at this, and you at least some part of the business you enjoy, you find somebody like Jill, and you partner with them, or but you have to answer the phone. It doesn't have to be you, and that's why Jill's name's on the letter and not mine.
Please share what else was on this personality test. Please help me. What else was on there that I need to know? Or just, actually, more importantly, let's just confirm I'm not nuts.
If you want to have an interesting conversation with your spouse, you guys should take personality tests. And it'll answer a lot of questions.
Yep, that's true. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week. You can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show, well, it's Jack Thursday. I was asked to do a State of the Union kind of thing, what's going on in 2021 real estate-wise. And do we really care about lumber prices? You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
You like that? That was just one example. There's big picture things that come up, that we think we know what's going on. We're guessing, should I pay attention or not pay attention? So tomorrow's show, babe, is would you please share with us what we get excited about, what we don't get excited about when little things come up like lumber prices?
Yep.
Thank you very much. If you need any sort of ownership or property details, including owner phone numbers and FEMA flood map overlays, check out neighborscoop.com. Created by investors, that's us, for investors like you.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable, and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.